Hey guys, my name's Ed. I'm lucky enough to finally have become a full-time YouTuber. YouTube is now my job. It took me about 3 years to get to that level. I'm not talking about this channel, by the way. This is a behind-the-scenes channel. My main channel is about web development, and I make tutorial videos. Now, when I started, I was at absolute zero in terms of knowledge about videos, cameras, video editing, and the process of being a YouTuber, making YouTube videos consistently. I watched a lot of videos along the lines of how to start a YouTube channel, and some common advice was that you can start with almost no equipment. You can start by filming with your phone, and I just have to say I completely disagree with that advice. I think that the people saying these things are already professionals. I'm sure that Peter McKinnon, who is a professional cinematographer, yes, he can make whatever kind of video with his iPhone and it's gonna look great. I'm sure that Gordon Ramsay or Jamie Oliver can walk into your kitchen, open the fridge, and whatever they find there, they can make a delicious meal from that. There's videos of Lionel Messi, the footballer, juggling a golf ball on his feet. Does that mean that we should start playing football by using a golf ball? In other words, the more skill you have, the less equipment you actually need. But as a beginner, I think that you need equipment that makes it comfortable for you to learn the skills that you actually need to learn. And those skills are mainly talking to the camera, something which is already very difficult for the majority of people. Unless you're naturally very extroverted and talkative. I think most of us become quite nervous as soon as we press record there and you're looking into this lens. It's not a natural thing to do, to talk to the camera like this. And in the beginning especially, it's gonna take 100% of your brain power to be doing this. You're already nervous and you can't have anything else taking up your mental space and causing distractions and causing anxiety or discomfort in any way. I mean, physical discomfort or insecurities with your face being on camera, or worrying about the fact that your battery is gonna die on your camera or that your memory card is gonna fill up and so you don't have a lot of time to finish the video. You get what I'm saying? So there's this essential list of things that I think you should invest in to make it comfortable for you to record YouTube videos and be able to do that consistently every week and actually build a YouTube channel. Now, I know a big issue is spending money on equipment. A lot of people can't afford it, and I can relate. I spent most of my 20s quite broke, like struggling to pay the rent, so I didn't want to spend extra money on equipment. But that hurt me in the long term. Luckily, a lot of this equipment is not very expensive. Money isn't such a big issue. I'm not saying that you should buy the latest Sony a7S III camera for $5,000. I'm not saying you need the best lens to get the sharpest video quality or the crispiest audio. This is more about workflow, right? This is about process and making it comfortable for you. So a lot of these things aren't very expensive. You can also buy them bit by bit. You can make a small upgrade to your setup every month or so whenever you have money. You should really consider it as an investment. I know a lot of you might be investing $100 or so a month in Bitcoin, but you won't invest $100 into making a better YouTube setup, something that could become a full-time business for you later on, a few years down the line. I think that's a much better investment right now than Bitcoin. All right, guys, I'm sorry if that took so long. I went on a bit of a rant. Now, here is the actual list of things that you need. The first thing I consider quite important is a flip-out screen on your camera. You need to be able to see yourself, not so that you stare at yourself, because you see, if I stare at the screen right now, you can see that I'm not looking into the lens. Nevertheless, it's important to have a flip-out screen. You can glance over at it occasionally. You can check to make sure that the lighting is still okay, that you're still in focus, right? I think right now my hand is in focus. Now my face is in focus, right? Also, you need to be sure that it's still recording. The problem I have with recording on a phone, again, is that you have it set up on a tripod or whatever, recording you don't know if it's still recording. Like it should be recording, right? You pressed record, you're over here, you press record, you sat down here, you're recording for, probably recording 30 minutes for a 15-minute video, and you don't know if your phone's still recording. So you get that anxiety, you get that thought in the back of your head, is it still recording? So you go and check. So what I'm saying is you need a proper camera with a flip-out screen. I've got the Sony ZV-E10. Got a flip out screen, tells me it's recording. It's great at focusing on me and then focusing on something that I'm holding maybe. So yeah, I recommend that camera, but it's not so important the type of camera or the quality of the camera or the lens as much as the flip out screen. Now the next thing you need is a good tripod. I actually made a video, like 2 videos before this one, about the new tripod that I bought. I'm so much happier now that I'm not stacking up my camera on a pile of books that are taking space on my table. They were taking time away when I was setting up, when I want to record a new video. So you need a decent tripod. If you only have a small amount of space between the desk and the wall or the window there, then consider getting one of these monopod style or selfie stick style tripods. This is the Ulanzi MT79, and then you won't have a problem with having a very compact home YouTube studio, and you won't have to move the desk away to fit a larger, more classical triangular tripod there, which takes up a lot of space, and I definitely think that's a consideration for many beginner creators. Next thing you need is a comfortable audio setup. Now, you'll notice that I have this microphone on my chest here. And this microphone is usually used for recording outdoors if you're going to be far away from the camera, and so that the camera can still pick it up, because this is sending it via Bluetooth to the camera right now. But I actually use this at home. Why? I know a lot of YouTubers have one of these arms that holds your microphone and puts it like this next to your face, but I don't like this. First of all, you need to have a big table set up, and so usually you would record in the same place all the time. Secondly, you have to have this microphone in your face. Thirdly, I forgot to mention that these microphone arms are not going to be compatible with every table, because they usually have quite a shallow clamp, and you need a desk that has a right angle, unlike my desk here. And also, just generally, I'd prefer not to have an arm attached to this desk, which I sometimes move around, and I also travel a lot, so that's just not a good solution for me. I just prefer one of these because it does the job. I attach it to my shirt with a magnet that comes with it. It's all in this little case. This is the DJI mic. The case charges the microphone, so I'm never worried about whether it's charged or not. And now I can have my seat at any height. I can record in any sort of position. I don't have to think about the microphone. All right, the next thing is lighting. I'm really lucky that I have a huge window in front of me right now, and I even have a little window on the side here. I tried to always record during the day for this reason, and I didn't buy myself a key light or any kind of lighting setup so that I could record at night. Eventually, when I was trying to consistently record videos, this became a problem, especially in winter when it was starting to get dark at around 4 p.m. and then, oh no, it's getting dark, I can't record my video anymore. I have to reschedule it for the next day. That's a stupid problem to have. You don't want to be restricted to only daylight hours. For those winter nights, I eventually got one of these, just a simple light stand with a light panel. It's very slim. It fits into my room quite easily behind the desk here. I also sometimes record in here. This is our home office where my girlfriend works most of the time, but I also would record in here in the evenings in winter. And as you can see, there isn't much space at all for me to put the most typical kind of light, which would be a softbox, right? A softbox would need to protrude from the wall about 40 or 50 centimeters. That's almost 2 feet, right? It's this huge thing. But for me, we're renting, right? So I can't really do anything about this desk and this sofa being here. There's nowhere else to put it. It's hard to move the desk back. So these panels are very slim and they're perfect for me. And they have some basic controls where you can adjust the Kelvin, the warmth, and also, of course, the brightness. They get really bright, and this is just about 10% right now. My point is that daylight is preferable. Yes, it looks better, but relying on it too much creates stress that you're gonna run out of daylight. So you should have a cheap light in your setup. By the way, guys, all the equipment that I mentioned here is linked down below. It's all affiliate links. If you want to support my channel, I'll really appreciate if you can use those links. Now, the next thing that I already mentioned quite a lot was batteries. You don't want to run out of battery while you're recording, so you always want to have at least one backup battery that you can quickly put into your camera, or even better, have a cable that goes to your camera and just have it always connected to the power so that you're not relying on the batteries. And that brings me to the next thing, cables and connectors. Make sure that you have enough of them, that they're long enough, that you can connect everything, you're not running out of electricity on any of your devices. Even connectors, like this just proves my point where I'm saying that it's not about money. So this microphone that I spoke about, it only connects to your computer via a classic old USB, right? And my MacBook does not have an old USB port. It only has USB-C, right? So I would have to use this converter to convert this to USB-C. And stupidly, I only had one of these, and I use this for various other devices. This thing could be attached to something else that was somewhere else around the house, and when I need to connect my microphone, I'm focused on my video, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna say in my video, but then I have to suddenly go searching around the house for this thing. And this costs $1. Why didn't I just buy like 5 of them and always have them at hand? It's not about money. Finally, the last piece of equipment, quite an underrated one, is memory, space, both on your computer and on your memory card for your camera. Obviously, the memory card on your camera, it can get filled up. If it's too small, then you need to constantly delete previous videos, or even it might not be large enough to record one video if you want to record in 4K. The file size will depend on your camera, but generally it's around 1 GB per minute of footage. That means that if you get a 64 GB SD card, that's only gonna fit about an hour of footage on it, which I think is simply not enough. Like I said, for a 15-minute video, I sometimes have 30 minutes of footage. If I also want to do some B-roll, or maybe I have clips from a previous video that I haven't had time to transfer to my computer, then that's going to fill up very quickly. I think you need at least 128 gigabytes, if not more. 256 or 512 would be ideal. Besides the obvious issue with memory on your camera, it's also the memory on your computer. A video file can weigh many gigabytes. When you put that across on your computer, when you're working in an editing software, Adobe Premiere or Final Cut, sometimes the project file can also grow as the software makes duplicates of each clip. So you need to make sure that you also have enough space on your computer. If you don't have much space, then you constantly have to clean it up, delete old files, which distracts you again from the video you're trying to create. You also need an external hard drive so that you can immediately move any old projects onto that external hard drive and not have them cluttering up your computer. And that's about it, guys. Notice that I didn't say that you need an expensive camera, you don't need expensive lenses, you don't need an expensive microphone for the highest quality, most crisp audio. It's not about that. What you need is a flip-out screen, a tripod, a comfortable audio solution that suits your setup, right? So that you can be in a normal posture. You need some lighting so that you're not just relying on the sun. You need small things like spare batteries, cables and connectors, just so that everything is comfortable. And you need a large enough memory card, enough space on your computer, an external hard drive to store those old files. A lot of these things aren't really that expensive, and each time you get one of these, I promise it will get easier for you to make videos. So I hope you found this video helpful. As you may have noticed, this is a brand new channel. I'd really appreciate if you can like, subscribe, comment, share in any way you can. Again, all the equipment that I mentioned is listed in the description below. If you'd like me to cover any other topics, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you in a later video. That's all. See you next time.